What's up, guys? Welcome to Bipolar Boxing. I'm gonna do a breakdown for Jack Catterall versus Arnold Barboza. Man, I almost got tired just saying those two names together. It's just styles make fights, and this is gonna make for a boring fight. I don't see any way this fight could turn out to be a shootout or anything. But for the guys who like the sweet science, these are two very smart fighters. They just like to hit very little and not get hit at all. Especially Jack Catterall. But this is an exciting fight because it's going to map out kind of where the 140 division is going to go within the next year or two. I'm hoping to see, the winner of this fight. I would hope to see him fight Teofimo Lopez, but now I'm hearing things that Lopez might move up to 147, do something up there. So I don't know, but for where these guys are right now, this is a really good fight, and it's going to be exciting just to see the outcome because it's a very, very tough fight to pick. Just because neither one of these guys do much in every single round, they just try to do a little bit more than the other guy. And hey, it don't matter if you beat the crap out of the guy for 3 minutes and don't get a knockdown, or if you beat him by a little bit and win the round. It's still a 10-9 round, so it doesn't really matter. And Jack Catterall kind of lives off of that, and he does very well doing it. But I mean, in this fight, I like Jack Catterall. I just think he's got more tools than Arnold Barboza. Barboza has to be the bigger guy. I haven't looked at the dimensions or anything, but Barboza has to be the taller guy with the longer arms. And I mean, normally you'd say like, yeah, he's going to stay on the outside and move and pick his spots, but that's exactly what Jack Catterall does. That's why, like, I just don't know how the hell this fight's going to go because Catterall's going to kind of be forced to come forward, I would imagine, to get inside on Barboza, but because Barboza's not going to come forward and throw with him. So it's just going to be a very boring fight, and the guy who lands one, two, maybe three clean punches in a round, that's who's going to win the round. I just think Jack Catterall could do that for more rounds than Arnold Barboza. It's that simple in my opinion. But I, I, I still got like Jack Catterall hasn't had a bad performance for me. He lost that fight against Taylor. We all know he won that fight, and he put on a great performance in that fight. And that was when Josh Taylor was Josh Taylor. Barboza has had one of those really bad performances, and that was against, I believe his name's Sean McComb, something like that. But that Macomb guy beat him. He won at least, I think it was a 10 round fight. He won at least 8 rounds, in my opinion, and he beat Barboza in that fight. And the Macomb is not nearly as good as Catterall. I think he's a different body style or whatever. But man, if you're getting hit by Macomb and you're getting outboxed by Macomb, like what the hell do you think Jack Catterall is going to do for you? That's just the way I'm looking at this fight. Like I'm not trying to overthink it or anything. The last fight I thought was a very 50-50 fight for Barboza against Ramirez, and Barboza looked great in that fight. And my buddy 3D Boxing, if you don't go to his channel and check him out. He's he's a very he's the best boxing predictor in my opinion on the internet. He doesn't lose a lot. He bets just the way I do. He bets a lot of favorites, but like guys, we're not in this for like value. Like we're in it to win fights equals winning money. Like you don't get half of your money back just because the underdog put up a good performance and a loss. Like none of that means anything. It's about winning. And 3D boxing, I was about to go with Ramirez in that fight just because I wanted to side with 50-50 fight. I'll go with the guy who's trained by Robert Garcia. He's my favorite trainer in the sport. I was going to go there, and then I watched his video, and he liked Barboza a lot. So I took a shot on Barboza, the underdog, and he hit. And he looked really good in that fight, but just a different style. Ramirez is coming towards you. That's exactly what Barboza wants. I think Catterall would have done the same thing, if not more, to Ramirez if they would have fought. So yeah, just give me Catterall here, definitely by decision. I mean, that's the one lock in this fight. I was just watching 3D Boxing's live, and I think he said it's like minus 650 for over 10.5 rounds. Just take it. If you don't like a side in this, just take the over and use it as a call him a parlay juicer just to get better odds on other of the some of the closer fights. You can also like use these fights this weekend, like Pat McCormack's on this card. Just throw him on. Abdullah Mason fights tonight. Throw him on like all these picks for next week when you got, all the close odds. Hamza Shiraz, Dimitri Bivol, Ajit Kabajal versus Zhang, like all those fights, like Dubois, like use these fights to parlay in with those close odds fights to where if you like the favorite in those close odds fights and they're like minus 175, minus 200, throw Pat McCormack, Nico Ali Walsh, Abdullah Mason, throw them on there, and all of a sudden you get him almost at a pick 'em instead of having to bet on minus 200. That's the way I've been betting for almost 20 plus years online because I can't I could never bet bookies when I was a kid. Like my bookies would never take boxing fights, but when Bodog came out in the early 2000s, I was all over it, and like that's what I've been doing ever since. And it works, guys. It works. So that's what I would recommend doing is on the undercard fights on here, like the Pat McCormacks, the William Corollas, and stuff like that. Just add them onto parlays for next week. The over in this fight, 6.5. This fight has to go over, or minus 650, 10.5 rounds. This fight has to go over unless something stupid happens with a cut or something like that. I don't know, but the fight's gonna go over. Whoever you like here, the bet would be I haven't checked the odds, but like Catterall's like minus 250. But if you like Catterall, if you like Barboza, just kind of take them on the decision side just to get a little better odds because there's just not going to be a stoppage in this fight. But yeah, that's who I like. Let me know who you guys like, and let me know who you think. If Catterall wins, or like Oscar Duarte's fighting tomorrow night, like maybe the winner, if they don't get the Teofimo, because just nobody knows what the hell's going on with Teofimo Lopez. If they don't get that fight, like maybe Duarte can hop up into fight for a title because if Teofimo Lopez just stays doing what he's doing and doesn't announce fights or anything, like I'm pretty sure they're gonna have the winner of this fight, they're going to upgrade him to world champion. So if Teofimo's still not doing anything, maybe like Oscar Duarte or something like that against Catterall or or Barboza if he wins. But I like Catterall in this one, and yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Who you think's going to win? I mean, Catterall. This is the other thing about these close fights. Catterall's in his hometown. He grew up like a couple of miles away from where he's fighting. That means a lot, and it's not even the UK. All around the world, like UK's not everybody's subject to bad decisions or whatever. In a fight like this, where there's going to be a lot of close rounds, just go with the home guy. Um, yeah, but that's what I think. You guys have a good night.